Queen Vivi is the rain god. Let me explain. Making theories out of nothing. My man commented, Mosh, favorite bro, at 202, look down till you see a giant D underneath Vivi. That sounded crazy. But when we do look at the panel, there is a D right underneath Vivi. Even though this is just the B in Alabasta, the bottom is covered off and we see a D, possibly foreshadowing. On the same page, we see Igaram talking about Vivi being captured by a giant bird. Oh, would you look at that? Now we also know that Vivi is a D member. Don't you find it funny that D is silent in the word Wednesday? Well, not the day part, but like the first part. Someone mentioned that in the comments, so I had to throw it in there. But for Vivi's first introduction, she was known as Mrs. Wednesday. But that's actually really important. In this chapter, when Zora asked Vivi her name again, she said, I'm Mrs. Wednesday. And that chapter was called The Town of Welcome. Jumping point to the start of Vivi's arc. And in the beginning of that chapter, Usopp made a snow queen. To me, this ties directly to Vivi. Only Vivi being a queen, and also Alabasta. The biggest thing in the Alabasta arc was the control of resources, but mainly the absence of rain. So one of the most iconic scenes throughout the entire Alabasta arc was when Vivi was yelling to stop fighting to the revolutionaries and the army. No one would heed her warning until this happened. As she screamed, rain began to fall. And in doing so, everyone ceased fighting. In part, it was tied to the defeat of Crocodile. You assume it was Crocodile's devil fruit power that stopped it from raining. It's very likely because we've also seen something like this before. It was when Ace visited Drum Island and it didn't snow the whole day. The power of a Logia devil fruit affecting the weather itself. But how does this make Vivi the rain god? During the story with Kadetsu, he started digging a hole. Chapter 324 was titled Adventures in the City of Water. While digging, he met creatures. He dug all the way to Alabasta with Koza. They later on found a hot spring. This shows that Alabasta wasn't just a barren land without water. It's possible it was changed over time, but I'll save that emu video for another day. Remember I said Zora asking Vivi who she was and she said Mrs. Wednesday is important because he later on defeated Monet, the one with the snow devil fruit, and Tashigi finished her off. And during the Punk Hazard arc, we learned about the recycling of devil fruit powers after the user dies. And it's possible that devil fruit found its way all the way to the Strad's ship. But again, why is that important? Because currently Vivi, WAPOL, and Morgans are on their way to Egghead Island to see the incident transpire. This would be Vivi reconnecting with the Strads for the first time since they left. And this is also where Vivi will get her power-up, the Snow devil fruit. And it just so happens when Vivi and the Strads were entering a snow island, the Drum Island, it was titled WAPOL of Tin. Oh, how things come full circle. Here's Vivi reuniting with the Strads with WAPOL in hand. But the reason why I mentioned rain and a Logia affecting the island's weather, because if Vivi were to attain the snow devil fruit, she would literally become a snow queen. And when she returns to Alabasta, it won't just be a barren land without rain. If you add her snow Logia powers to that weather, you'd get rain easily. The god of sun, the god of rain. But Vivi's also a D now. But just like Mew said, the D is actually an ancient enemy, and the people who hold D now don't even know what it means. So the D now may stand for dreams and dawn, but the D before could possibly be drums of liberation. But Cobra told Sabo to tell Luffy that Vivi is a D member, and a lot of people are saying, why would Luffy care? You're right, he wouldn't, because his goal does not align with the D members. And just how Vivi and the other Strads drew an X on their arm, he's now branded by the X on his chest. The D is X'd out for a new path.